that's where it started.
Hello, this is Paul.
This is Laura.
I'm Rob.
And I'm Alton.
We are Team Derringer.
And you are listening to Derringer Discoveries,
where we take you, the listener, on an adventure.
a music adventure.
Listeners, tonight we are officially winging it. That's right. I've got Laura and Alton with me. Plus, I have our newly minted co-host, Rob Derringer. That's right. He's now known as Rob Derringer.
It's good to be here.
Yeah, we're glad to have you. And he is just off of a whirlwind trip to the Sphere, and that's the concert venue in Las Vegas. And you ready for this? Rob Derringer saw the legendary band, the Eagles, which is kind of what prompted tonight's episode.
You got that right, Paul. And speaking of winging it, that theme will run throughout this episode. Rob, I can see you survived the 160,000 square foot LED screen and lived to tell about it. So did the concert benefit from all that tech, or was it just a distraction?
I think it was a little bit of both. It was an overwhelmingly cool show, just in terms of the music and the visuals. There are a lot of concerts where sometimes the visuals can distract from the music, but this is the Eagles. It's hard to be distracted from seeing the Eagles.
Yeah.
Guys, let's be honest, with one of the highest selling albums in history and the top selling album in U.S. history, the Eagles are the apex predators of bird name bands. And the industry really seems to be obsessed with bird name bands, right? You've got the Black Crows, the Yardbirds, the Birds,
To everything turn, turn, turn.
and one of my favorites, A Flock of Seagulls. Any others?
Yeah, Laura, I can think of a couple just off the top of my head. How about pigeons playing ping pong?
Melting lights off the walls. I think I'm losing my mind, y'all.
One of the all-time greats.
What?
And then almost as good as pigeons playing ping pong is the band Wings, as in Paul McCartney and Wings.
Band on the run.
Oh, yeah.
And don't forget one of my favorites, Counting Crows.
Mr. Jones and me. Storming through.
And let's not forget Sheryl Crow.
If it makes you happy, it can't be that bad.
So rock and roll is just basically an aviary at this point, right? But for this episode, we are settling a debate that nobody asked for, but everybody will have an opinion on. So many opinions. 2 bands, 1 aviary, only one can rule the roost.
That's right, listeners, the Battle of the Waterfowl. Singular versus plural, Goose versus Geese. Be sure at the end of this episode to let us know your favorite.
You know it all came back.
Listeners, I think it's going to be obvious who's going to win this battle, and I'm sure all 4 of us are going to agree to the same band. So keep listening, because you will find out which band we think is the better of the 2. It is a battle of 2 very different bands. Let's meet the contenders. We'll start with the plural. In one corner, we have the band Geese. And that's Geese, just like it sounds, Geese.
You can stay with me.
They're a bunch of young post-punks out of Brooklyn, New York. Geese blend art rock, post-punk, and experimental chaos into something that feels both retro and futuristic. It's very hypnotic, and the drumming and percussion is just out of this world. Their recent appearance on SNL, Saturday Night Live, has done wonders for their monthly listenership.
Ladies and gentlemen, Geese!
As of this recording, Geese has exploded. They have over 2 million monthly listeners.
I've got an image in my head of exploding geese now that's
Ooh,
bothering me.
Thanks for that, Rob.
that is disturbing.
Like the turkeys from WKRP in Cincinnati, kind of?
Yes, the turkey drop.
The turkeys are hitting the ground like sacks of wet cement.
Exactly.
Another fowl, or at least another bird.
That's right.
So I'm sure everyone was checking them out after their recent SNL performance, which totally divided the internet. And reaction was really wildly split on this. Some people hailed them as rock saviors. Others called it one of the worst SNL performances ever. And guys, I have to say, I was surprised by it because everything you read about Geese, you hear so much about their dynamic stage presence and these super energetic live performances. And this was really toned down, shall we say? So, yeah, I was a little surprised by that.
Yeah, I don't think it was one of their better performances, but I do think they have a lot to offer.
Yeah, in their defense, you're really performing without a net. When you're on Saturday Night Live, if anything goes wrong, you're just out there with no backup. I went on social media to see if I was the only one who was confused. Here's some of the posts that I found about their performance. The worst rock band to ever perform on SNL, period.
Man, that's a little harsh.
Yeah, it's kind of harsh, isn't it? Well, I don't know how to respond to that because I do think their performance on SNL was subpar. I'll go with that. Subpar.
Yeah.
But
I'm going back through my history of SNL watching to see if there was anything worse, and I probably could come up with some worse ones.
yeah.
Yeah, and to their defense, I had heard somebody said that the sound mix that they had in their ears was really bad. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, they're certainly getting a lot of traction in the industry, but yeah, I wasn't super happy with that performance.
Here's the next one. Geese is either its generation's great saviors of rock and roll or its most derivative imposters.
Ooh, ouch for that second part. But, it really kind of sums things up, right? There just does not seem to be a lot of middle ground where Geese is concerned. It's kind of a love them or very much dislike them situation.
Yeah.
And I won't say hate because hate is a very ugly word.
It is.
Absolutely.
It is.
I think it really comes down to
Let's just say-
the vocals. The vocalist, Mr. Winter, what is his name? Cameron Winter?
Cameron.
Winter. I think he's an acquired taste. I think the music has a lot of Vampire Weekend going for it, but his singing, you either love his singing or you don't, and it is a bit annoying sometimes.
Said Paul Derringer.
Yes. Listeners, that's feedback at derringerdiscoveries.com. Attention, Paul.
The critics have a lot of really positive things to say about Cameron Winter's vocals, though.
There's a horse on my back.
Like Paul said, it's pretty acquired, and I actually think what the real divide is the age. A lot of the folks watching Saturday Night Live are probably older and not into the punk bands anymore. I think if we were 20 years old, it might be a little different.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I got one more review here. This is from Consequence of Sound. Geese made their SNL debut with a triumphant 2-song performance that showcased the band's dynamic range. For their opener, frontman Cameron Winter took center stage with the melancholic heartbreaker Au Pace du Cocaine, before the NYC outfit closed the night with the abrasive ripper Trinidad, no doubt to the delight of Nick Cave.
I went blind. Get in. Let's drive.
Well, obviously, Nick Cave of the band Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds is a fan of the band song Trinidad. I guess if I was still a 20-something or Nick Cave, I'd be more of a fan myself. But listen, how awesome would it be to be in your 20s, performing on SNL, and having 2 million monthly listeners? Pretty awesome, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I agree, Alton. And can 2 million listeners all be wrong? I don't think so. And I really think part of the appeal of this band is that in this auto-tune, cookie-cutter music world that we live in, they're unique and they're unafraid to experiment. And, I think they're going to be around for a while.
Yeah.
Paul, tell us a little bit about the band.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I know, which is not much, but Geese was formed in Brooklyn. I mentioned that earlier, and it was in a basement, a Brooklyn basement. Around 2016, they were all students of, Alton, you can't stick me with the name of this high school. They were all students of
Stuyvesant.
They were all students of that high school that you just mentioned. The band members were literally just school friends who built a makeshift studio called The Nest, which is appropriate for geese, perhaps. Do geese use Nest? I think they do.
I think so.
Yeah.
Better than small houses.
Yes. After high school, they planned to quit the band and go to college until, get this, a bidding war broke out over their demos.
Man, what a terrible problem to have.
Yeah.
Right. I think some of them had been accepted to some various performing arts colleges. And yeah, like you said, Paul, they were going to break up and they got the attention of some recording labels. I mean, what a dream come true, right? For every high school rock and roll band.
No kidding.
You are listening to Derringer Discoveries.
So, Rob, tell us who's in the band.
The band consists of Cameron Winter, lead vocals, keyboard, and guitar. Emily Green is on lead guitar. Max Basson is on drums. And Dominic DeJesu is on bass. And they were joined live by Sam Ravaz on keyboards.
Their 2021 debut Projector and 2023's 3D Country made them critical darlings. They represent the anarchy path, jagged guitars, erratic vocals, and songs that sound like they might fall apart at any second.
Yeah.
Hello, listeners. This is Ann Tilly from Prague, Czechia. I listen to Derringer Discoveries, a music adventure podcast.
I made a discovery. This is Jimmy Curry from The Currys, coming to you from Derringer Discoveries, a music adventure podcast.
All right, that's it for Geese. Now, which waterfowl do we have in the other corner?
Okay, I got this one. The band is Goose. They formed in 2014 in Wilton, Connecticut. The core duo, Rick Mataratanda on guitar and vocals, and Trevor Weeks on bass, had previously played in a blue-collar indie reggae band called Vasudo. When Vasudo dissolved, they wanted something more expansive musically. They recruited Ben Atkind on drums, and later in 2017, Peter Anspach, keyboard, vocals, and guitar. Peter was a massive addition to the band, not just for his playing, but for his indie groove sensibilities and his stage presence, and the mustache.
And the mustache.
Yeah, and the mustache. Atkin left the band in 2023 and was replaced by Cotter Ellis.
Listeners, Goose is filled with, as Rob said, some pretty awesome musicians. All members are technically proficient and really can play circles around most modern bands. Goose shows just aren't concerts, they're gatherings. Fans get together at these concerts, they trade recordings, swap set lists, and treat every show like another chapter in an ongoing story. So who does that remind you of?
Yeah, it sounds like a Grateful Dead kind of situation where you're more than just a listener of music, you're part of a community. So yeah, I think that's what's happening with Goose. They are kind of taking on the Grateful Dead feel for their vibe. They were a gradual burn as far as growth until their 2019 Peach Music Festival. That set went viral. It was widely considered the Big Bang moment for the band. And while they had been building a regional following in Connecticut, this single 90-minute set on the Live for Live Music side stage transformed them into a national sensation almost overnight. What do you think, guys? Are they just a jam band? Or is it more to them? What is their situation? And being a jam band, is that a badge of honor? Or is it a marketing curse? Does it attract fans or does it scare them off? There's a lot of questions I'm throwing out here. What do you think?
Baby, on the way, I was bouncing like I.
Well, the first couple of songs that I heard by Goose about a year and a half ago were not their extended jams. They were conventional 4-minute adult alternative genre rock songs. And so I didn't even really think of them as a jam band. So they get different exposure to different populations, I think. Whether or not that's a blessing or a curse to be called a jam band, I don't know. It depends on what perspective you're looking at it from. But there's more to them than just being a jam band, I think.
All right. And that's Rob's point of view. Alton, what do you think?
I think that they actually can make the transition from the studio. As Rob said, they have the traditional adult alternative songs on their albums. They have a couple of long songs on their albums. Paul, I know you're a fan of the long jams.
Only if I need to go to the restroom.
But, if you're at a concert and you're in the moment and you're really digging it, they can really go off and hold their own. And having the long jam is really wild at a concert. They've got the musical chops to pull it off, so why not?
You are listening to Derringer Discoveries.
With listeners in more than 30 countries.
How about you, Laura?
Yeah, definitely the jam band vibe. But, if you listen to their music, it's got some radio appeal, right? You're like, why aren't these hit songs?
Apparently, Goose is the new torchbearer for the indie jam band scene. And, think Fish meets Vampire Weekend.
Yeah. And I'll mention this. I think they both Goose and Geese, invoke Vampire Weekend. Geese does it with their percussion, and Goose does it in other ways.
Paul, funny that you should mention Vampire Weekend. Did you guys know that the lead singer, Ezra Koenig, is enough of a fan that he's publicly co-signed Goose and their take on his song 2021?
2021, will you think about me? I could wait a year, but I shouldn't wait 3. Boy, I don't wanna be 2021, will you think about me? I could wait a year, but I shouldn't wait 3. I don't wanna be.
Yep, and Goose did it up right. They turned it into a sprawling 20-minute plus live jam, just like Paul likes.
Just like, guys, 20 minutes is too long for a song. If you can't say it in 3 minutes, you shouldn't say it.
More about that later, Paul.
Hello there, Edmund Blackadder here from UK band Spirits of Saturn. Greetings to Team Derringer, Laura, Alton and Paul. Their 6th year as a music adventure podcast. Wow.
Hej, det här är Max Beck, musiker och låtskrivare från Sverige. Du lyssnar på Derringer Discoveries, a music adventure podcast.
Hello listeners, this is Stephen Choi, recording as dual native. I love listening to Derringer Discoveries, a music adventure podcast.
Listeners, Goose built their reputation the old school way, playing marathon 2-set shows and crisscrossing the country in vans before anyone outside jam band circles really knew their name. Their 2022 album, Dripfield, actually hit #1 on the Billboard Heat Seekers chart. Goose have sold out many venues across the United States and have headlined some bucket list venues like Madison Square Garden, Radio City Music Hall, and my dream venue, Red Rocks.
They played on television as well. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel Live, CBS Saturday Morning, and have played many notable music festivals such as Bonnaroo and Austin City Limits.
This morning in our Saturday session, Goose. Formed in Connecticut in 2014, they've become known for their jamming and improvisation, and their own fan base has been steadily growing. Once heard in small venues, this summer they're headliners at Red Rocks in Colorado, and tonight they'll perform a second sold-out show at Radio City Music Hall right here in New York. Now, from their new album, Dripfield, here is Goose with Hunger Sight.
All right, gang, it's time to vote. No fence sitting allowed. You must choose a bird. Which is your pick to win the battle of the waterfowl, Goose or Geese? And once you've shared your pick, make sure to name your favorite song and tell us why. And Laura, ladies first.
Oh, Alton, you are such a gentleman in spite of what everyone says about you.
Shh, don't listen to everyone.
So this probably will not come as a surprise, but I'm going to go with Goose, and I'm going with the song Hunger Sight from the 2022 album Dripfield that we've talked about quite a bit. This song is a 7-minute long thing of beauty. That's probably why it was not a radio hit, because it goes so far beyond the 3-minute attention span. But guys, I really feel like it has all the right ingredients for an indie rock hit. And come on, can't we all use a little hope in the midst of this mad world that we live in? This is a fantastic song. Listeners, if you're not familiar with it, give it a listen. I promise you, you are going to love it.
Yeah, Laura, I actually like the song too. The hook in that song is fantastic.
Oh, it is.
It really is. It's very catchy, and I think it's radio friendly.
Absolutely.
I don't know why that song isn't bigger.
Yeah,
really.
I agree. Rob, over to you.
I agree with you completely about that song. And sometimes these songs surprise us that they'll end up on the charts 6 months or 9 months or even a year after their first release. My choice for a band is Goose. I think one goose is enough. I'm going to go with the singular goose. I don't need plural geese. No disrespect to Geese, but I prefer Goose. And as far as choosing a song, it was really difficult for me. I'm a big fan of several of their songs. I've listened to a whole lot of their stuff in the last week or so. And it came down to a tie between the title track from the Dripfield album, which is really trippy, and it's got a really great kind of a driving beat. It's good driving music to be on a highway with the windows down blasting. A tie between that and a song called Dustin Hoffman, which is an odd name for a song, a great actor, but there's a brass section in that that's just really, really beautiful. It's awesome. But really, the hardest part of getting ready for this podcast was trying to figure out what my favorite Goose track was, because there was a whole lot of them.
Okay, Rob, the Derringer Discoveries rulebook says no ties. You have to pick one. Which one are you going to pick?
If you're going to totally...
I'm going to pin you down.
You're going to pin me down. I'm going to say the title track of the Dripfield album.
Only one consolated song separated from all above.
All right, so that was Rob's choice. For my choice, I will just say that my angsty punk days are many decades in the rearview mirror. I have chosen to go with Goose for their fantastic musicality and their talent for writing melodic songs. I have chosen their song Arcadia off the 2016 album Moon Cabin. It reminds me of a mashup between a Prince song
Arcadia's got me running, just trying not to lose my breath, 'cause hell, I wanna take that step.
and Peter Gabriel's Sledgehammer.
And it will be sitting at your doorstep, waiting just to come on in.
I think it is a fantastic song, as do their fans. They often use it as a set closer and have even had Trey Anastasio with Fish sit in with them when they've closed with this song. So that's my choice, Arcadia, from the 2016 album Moon Cabin.
Oh, I didn't see it coming. Arcadia's got me running, just trying not to lose my breath, 'cause hell, I'm gonna take that step.
This is Wilson Getchell. I also front the rock and roll band Thirsty Curses. We're based out of Raleigh, North Carolina, and you are listening to Derringer Discoveries.
Hi, it's Estella Dawn. For a good time, listen to Derringer Discoveries. If you do, I will hunt you down and give you a kiss on the forehead.
Paul, that leaves it up to you to bring us home.
Well, guys, you totally shocked me. I really thought it was going to be unanimous for Geese. did not see this coming. I was like, what? You guys, no way. I figured you guys are you're messing with me, right? You're really going to come back and say what you really think. And this was just to get my goat or get my goose, maybe.
Get your goose, yeah.
Guys, I'm going to go with Geese.
What?
Yeah, I'm going with Geese. And I'm going to, for my favorite song, I'm going to go with the most recent album, which, Laura, most recent album, it's from September of 2025. And the whole album runs at 45 minutes with 11 songs. So do the math. They are able to get their songs out there in a respectable time of about 4 minutes per song. And that's kind of what I lean toward, is a short, in-your-face song. They have a lot of good songs on the album, and the one that really caught my attention is one that reminds me of Benjamin Franklin. In 1789, Benjamin Franklin pretty much said, there's only two things that are certain, death and taxes. And this song, called Taxes, could have very well been called Death and Taxes, because he talks about the other half as well.
If you want me to pay my taxes.
But I think the song just grabs your attention. At minute 1:30, the guitar really comes in and brings it to life. If you can make it through the first minute and a half, trust me, that guitar will win you over. The percussion is phenomenal. And then his voice starts to get better as the song goes. And he has, by his last verse, he is really in his stride on the song Taxes. It was a lead track off of the most recent album. And I just want to read you the line, and I think you will agree that this is really good stuff. So Taxes, my choice, by the band Geese, ends with Doctor, Doctor, heal yourself, and I will break my own heart. I will break my own heart from now on.
Doctor!
That is from the song Taxes, written by everybody in the band. I know we talk about Cameron Winter. He's certainly the focal front because he's the singer, but they give credit to all four members in the band. And that's my choice.
Interestingly enough that you mentioned the guitarist, Emily Green, I believe is their lead guitarist. Here's a bit of trivia for you. From what I understand, she has really been a driving force in the band. And as a matter of fact, the band was named after her.
Yes.
She used to have the nickname Geese back in high school, which was, all of 3 years ago. But the band was named after her. And a lot of the critics like her guitar work. Her leads really give the band the sound and make them unique out there. So kudos to Emily Green.
Yeah, kudos, because that guitar is what won me over at 1 minute and 30 seconds, won me over. And I was like, yeah, I can't believe they held off for 1 minute and 30 seconds without bringing that in.
And I'm curious to know what the listeners think.
Yeah, listeners, you got to write us. Who do you prefer? Do you agree with Paul Derringer? Do you go with Geese? Or do you agree with the other three who went with Goose? You got to let us know.
That's right, listeners. You can vote for Geese at feedback@derringerdiscoveries.com. Attention, Paul. And you can send hate mail to the same address. Well, listeners, it was 3-1.
3-1.
Goose to Geese, 3-1. We've outnumbered Paul.
Okay.
He's been our lone holdout.
But let me ask you a question. If it was 3 Goose to 1, doesn't that make Geese the winner? Because, 1, 2, 3.
He does have a point there. It's going to come down to how many geese are in Geese. How many geese technically is Geese made up of?
Yeah. Well, let's just sit here and take a gander at it.
Oh, no, you didn't.
You did.
Oh, Alton, you know I love dad jokes.
All right. Paul, take us out of here.
All right, listeners, thank you for joining us. We always are looking for people to be on our episodes with us. If you want to be a special guest, reach out to us at feedback@derringerdiscoveries.com. All music snippets used in this episode were used as part of our commentary and review purposes. That's fair use. We do not own the rights. We're simply exercising our right for fair use. Please Do your part. Support these artists by streaming and or purchasing their music.
Listeners, tell us if you think the term jam band is a badge of honor or a warning label, and whether you're Team Goose or Team Geese. Reach out to us on social media or send us an email at feedback@derringerdiscoveries.com.
And speaking of social media, we're at Derringer Discoveries on Facebook, at derringerdiscoveries.com on Blue Sky Social, and at Derringer Pod on Instagram, X, and Threads.
Be sure to follow us on your favorite podcast app and never miss another episode.
The waterfowl of rock are flying high right now. Thanks for listening. We hope you'll join us again soon.
Until next time, this is Paul Derringer.
This is Laura Derringer.
I'm Alton Derringer.
And I'm Rob Derringer.
And you've been listening to Derringer Discoveries.
In your sister's room. That's where it started. In your sister's
room. You know what? Paul told me that last week, and I didn't take it to heart. I'll try to do better. I went on. That's great. My voice is cracking.
Okay, Peter Brady.
Finally got to puberty, did you?
I'm not sure this is going to make the final cut of the episode, but
Alton's editing this one, so it's all up to him.
Yeah, we're going to be chopping you out, Rob.
I'm going to. Yeah, you feel free to chop this one out, but.
Cue Rob.
I'm sorry. Okay.
But I know you guys are going to choose a song by Geese as your favorite song, so it should be open and shut at this point.
We're going to leave that to you, Paul.
That's your job.
And let's see if I can find it. I know Alton will edit out the delay in getting to it.